Yo, what up, Dak?
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Nothing much. I just jumped on. We are live. Yeah, just jumping into the show. Just perfect timing, man.
Awesome, awesome. Sorry, I sent you a message earlier about how to get onto this thing, but I figured it out.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I was
No,
getting
no worries,
getting
no worries.
getting
So,
dinner and
how's
all that
everything
stuff.
going, Berg?
It's going okay.
Yeah,
Things are a little bit crazy, a little bit stressful, on the front of work and all that. But it's picking up, which is great, man. How are things with you?
everything's good, man. Everything's good. I just busy work, and it's going well. A lot of things picking up at work for me myself, so it's going well.
Pork coin billionaire Marcus, what's going on, man?
Good evening. I don't have time for peasants. I'm a, I'm a pork coin billionaire. Uh, I
Interesting.
know that it's hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have
Um,
been all over the coin, digital coin, like just atmosphere, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's Bitcoin is insane. I'm
yeah,
just here for the ride, riding your
yeah,
guys' coattails.
yes. Feel free. Uh, what's going on, Dak? How you doing? You good?
Good, good, good.
Amazing. This is the new way that I speak. So, when you start getting to this kind of money, you don't yell. Money talks, wealth whispers.
Wealth
So
whispers.
As
yeah,
they say, no more gold chains, right?
yeah. Um, I don't sound sick. I sound rich. There's a difference.
There's some
Um,
difference.
but
Nice.
thank you, Jizzy Gillespie. How are
We're
you guys
just
this evening? Is Vinny joining us, or does he still have syphilis?
I think it's gotten worse. I don't know if he didn't respond yes or no. Maybe. Um,
I
but
sent him
yeah,
a
we'll see.
message today. He has not replied, so I don't know. Um,
It
he,
matters not. Um,
he may be a little busy today. It looks like it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
it matters not. You're
It,
with your Lord and Savior, the poor coin
oh wow.
billionaire.
Oh wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
See, when I talk now, my hands are like this.
Very wise with those glasses on.
Yeah, and they're Gucci.
Oh,
I
nice.
saw that. I
Yeah,
saw the
yeah,
little
Nice.
emblem there. That's
yeah.
Nice.
cool.
They're
Hair still looking good.
Gucci,
Yeah, it's looking
and they're
good.
not from Dollar Tree or Family Dollar or Dollar General. They're actually from the Gucci establishment. This is
Establishment.
not bootleg. This is
I
actually,
I believe it.
yeah, yeah.
This guy.
What's going on, guys? Let's talk. Let's chat.
Just looking at BTC. I mean, it hit 57,000. Went above 57,000. It's cooled down a little bit.
For
I
sure.
think it's at 56.4 now, as
Yes,
last I checked. But
yes. And
yeah,
it's not even. So okay, all right. I'm done. What's going
It
on,
must it must be
man?
tiring trying to do your voice like that.
Yeah, it
When I
is. It's a
impersonate
lot.
people,
It's a lot of. It's a
it
lot of
sounds
work.
exhausting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's all good.
Um. Okay. So here's my thought.
Yeah.
We had been telling you that this moment was coming, and a bunch of people, would question us and the NFTs and crypto, and you're better throwing it off in the wind and turning around and walking away. Let a crackhead grab it because it's not real, it's not tangible.
Mhm.
But now Bitcoin is more expensive than gold. Something fucking imaginary to you that don't believe it. It's
Mhm.
more valuable than gold. Who would have fucking thunk it?
yeah.
No
You
one.
know what I'm saying? It's serious. And and
Mhm.
and the thing is this: there's about to be, and D, you already know I'm telling the truth. there's about to be so many people walking around here with money that you don't even know. It's your freaking next door neighbor that you told them about Bitcoin and they laughed at you, but then snuck off and bought some. Just said, let's just put some away for a rainy day.
Even if you were not able to get into Bitcoin, even if you bought Ethereum, you're looking good. Like if you weren't able to afford Bitcoin and just bought yourself a bunch of Ethereum, you're doing good.
I remember when ETH was $50. I heard about it at $50, but it starts where it starts. I remember Bitcoin at $6. $6 I heard when I heard about Bitcoin. Oh yes, Trey has a bunch of Bitcoin. Quiet as kept. Trey has Bitcoin. He does. How many he has, I'd have no idea. But I do know it's like either 10 or 15 Bitcoin because he bought it when it was like nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like that, this is the season more than ever for you guys to, really educate yourself. Now, I put down here Pork Coin Billionaire, simply because my I'm heavy into pork and pond, and I still have some Pepe. I had something happen with my Pepe, but Pepe is going parabolic right now. Like all of these things, all of these coins, if Bitcoin and ETH is up, everything else is up. When Bitcoin and ETH goes down, everything else goes down.
Sure.
So it's not even altcoin season is what they call it. We're in the beginning of a bull run. This ain't even the bull run yet. So saying all that to say, you still have time. If this is what you want to do. Oh, he got in at 400. Yeah. Come on now. Who wouldn't buy 400 Bitcoin if you knew that it was going to hit 57,000?
Yeah.
And so you just start buying them up as it's coming. Like right now, the move is Solana. Like, if Solana right now is $100 a coin. And and that's the one that everybody is playing with right now. Now the goal is, and this is not financial advice, do your own research. Man, spread yourself out. You can't buy a whole Bitcoin, but put $100 over there every week, $50, $1,000. Do fractional. You know what I'm saying? Think of it like stocks. And then when it halves, it's going to do what Apple did. It's going to halve and then it's going to shoot back up again. So it's like, these are just the times to just really look at what you got going on, because I guarantee you, your next door neighbor, somebody down your street has crypto, they have Bitcoin, they're not saying shit. And when they become a millionaire, they're still not going to say shit. They're just going to keep living like they living because they don't want you to know that they have just hit the fucking lotto. That's what it is. It's like there's a guy, I was hearing a story about a guy who they were saying like the richest person in the world is not Warren Buffett or
whoever
Gates. They were saying it's some dude who bought a bunch of Bitcoin when it was like pennies on the dollar, and he has never sold. And like the equivalent of what I have in pork, he had in Bitcoin when it was just like pennies. When it was less than pennies.
Most of the Bitcoin owners are anonymous. You never know who they are.
You never know that you just see them. You just see somebody on a big ass boat and be like, what kind of oil tycoon is this? No. It's just like with Mark Cuban. Man, Mark Cuban made his money during the .com era. Like that, he made his money buying up .coms, buying up names, and then selling them. That's how he became a freaking billionaire. He bought Fire.com. When those, just like how these ENS names come, I can't mute my phone, sir. I get my phone is my money. I can't mute my phone. I'm sorry.
You're good.
No, I was talking to Jizzy.
I know.
Yeah.
But you're good. You're good with me.
Oh, it's just a ding. They'll be okay.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm a poor coin billionaire. I don't respond to. I was just letting him mute your money. I know, right?
That's funny. That's funny.
Mute your money.
No, the other day was just put in $100 in Shiba Inu.
Yeah, you did.
So that's like 0.000001 or something like that. But
Mhm.
if it goes even to like, you know, 100 or 1,000 over, you're going to be like, it'll never get to 1 cent. Okay.
Right.
Let's forget about that. But if it just goes up 2 magnitudes or a decimal place, 2 decimal places over,
Mhm.
we're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
So
Just
even
from putting in 100, just from putting in $100.
just putting in $100, because I've like over 50,000 shares, putting in
Right.
more than that.
I tell people that all the time. Like, I have Doge.
Sorry,
I
not
have
shares, but coins. Sorry.
Yeah, I have Doge. Well, I got in Doge when it was like 3 cents, and then it jumped up to 8. I made money. I pulled out. You know what I'm saying? I'll jump back in. Like, that's how you do.
But you got to weather the storm too, right?
Yeah, you do.
Sure. Yeah. And any like investment collectible, whatever, you're gonna, like Marcus said, like you buy 3 or 4 different coins or comics or video games, whatever. You just gotta hit one of them, and don't get crazy. $10 is not a lot of money. $50 is not a ton of money in the grand scheme of things, right? And kind of like another thing to kind of think about is you kind of have to say to yourself, yeah, this may go to 0 and not really care. And I think the best thing to do, with this type of stuff, when it comes to like coins or whatever. Hey, what's up, Brad? Good to see you, man. Is don't even pay attention to it and just kind of let it ride, that kind of thing.
Paying attention to it causes anxiety. Like when Bitcoin went down to 16,000, everybody thought it would go down to 0, but you just gotta let it. You just gotta let it go. You just gotta know you have to put your trust in your investment, right? I bought in well below 16,000, right? But I knew in my heart that it wouldn't go lower than what I bought into. I think based on the foundations of which Bitcoin was set on, at which I bought, I didn't feel like it would drop down to that value. It was not going to happen. So I just sat on Bitcoin and I just let it ride. Yeah, a lot of people leveraged a lot. When Bitcoin hit about $60,000, people were going to the bank, getting loans, buying into Bitcoin, over leveraging themselves, and then it dropped 40, 50, 60%. People were crying because it was a high interest loan that these guys were leveraging on. And now they have to pay the loan back with the high interest, plus BTC's gone down to 20,000. Imagine the predicament there.
Yeah.
You never want to risk like that.
On anything.
I'm not a high risk taker. Yeah. I'm a very conservative investor. So I would never tell someone to do that. Yeah. It's not the way to play. You don't want to lose sleep over it.
Sure.
Over anything.
That's the worst. You want your money to work while you sleep. Not the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah.
So cool. Good stuff, man. Go ahead, Marcus. You're gonna say something?
No. I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying, I think what we're all saying right now is that now's the time for you to do research while comics are down, while other things are down. Find ways to diversify your portfolio. Find the crypto that you like the most. You know what I'm saying? The cheapest plays right now are Solana. ETH is at 3,000. You could have got ETH when it was 1,600. Yep. You could have got Bitcoin when it was 17,000 if you had 17,000 sitting around. But that's what I'm saying. Buy in the dip, ride when it's high. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do your research, but there are about to be a bunch of people with a bunch of money around you, and you can continue to talk about it or you can accept it.
So we're also looking at Bitcoin halving in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah, less than 51 days.
Yep. So that's going to cause Bitcoin to be less available for mining. So what that means is that potentially the value of Bitcoin, each Bitcoin will even further go up.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens. It's all about the hype and what happens after that initial, every time there's an epoch of interest and hype, you suddenly see a surge down, right? So we'll just have to see what happens after that halving occurs in 50 days. You said, Marcus?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool stuff. About 15 minutes into the show, I want to thank Marcus and Dak for joining me tonight. We're going to get into the show. I don't know if you guys knew this, but hold on. What the heck? Why is it doing this? Hold on. There we go. I'm sure you guys, my internet's acting really weird today. I don't know what's going on with it, but hold on. Let's see if I can just do this instead. I found out yesterday that today is Pokemon Day.
Yep.
And eBay has some Catch 151 auction items out here. Just kind of want to show the community what's going on. I mean, there's obviously still a lot of interest into Pokemon, of course, and so I thought this was kind of cool to see 2021 Evolving Skies Umbreon CGC labeled Perfect 10. You guys remember the skateboards that were pretty hot like a few months ago? There's a couple hours left on these guys too, but yeah, I mean, and the Gem Mint Charizard CGC again, Holo Rare base set Pokemon. That's got a couple hours left on that one, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't really think that Pokemon's like dead or like it's not gonna do so well in the next like 10 to 15 years. But I mean, I think there's such a wide amount of interest, age-wise too. Sorry. And I don't know. I think it still has a pretty good run left in it. What do you guys feel about Pokemon investing and just kind of, is it I don't really follow the market too well, but they're still putting out a lot of product. People are still buying it. They're ripping open. There's still kids that talk about it, play the game. What are you guys' thoughts for the next 5 to 10 years in Pokemon?
For me as an outsider, I think for me who's never had anything, I've never played Pokemon. I've never had the cards. I've never done anything. I think I was well too old to even get into it. I still think Pokemon's as popular as ever. There is immense amount of product still out there. Kids are still wanting Pokemon stuff. I just went to like a Dave and Buster's sort of thing on Saturday for my nephew's birthday. 6 years, he turned 6, but there's Pokemon product everywhere, and it's really, really popular. So I don't see the demand for their product slowing down at all. But I mean, no one can replicate the 2021 boom, right? We're not going to replicate that again. I don't think we're ever going to approach that in another 15 to 20 years, if that. It was just a perfect storm of different scenarios all coming together, right? So we can't look back at 2021 and go, oh, everything's a bust, because 2021 happened, and therefore all these cards went down in value, and therefore it's a bust. If you got in before 2021, like in 2019, 2020, and invested into these cards, you're still happy. You're still looking at profits.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it's ever bad to invest in Pokemon if you can get into it cheap. That's
Here's my thought. People talk all that shit. Magic is still here.
Yeah.
Magic is still king. Pokemon is in its own lane, right? My son, 13, plays Pokemon. I was just in the store looking for the what is it? The Monopoly Prisms. Are you up on that? The Monopoly Prisms?
No, I'm not.
So there was a Monopoly Prism.
We got a new guy in the chat. Troy's Cards and Comics too. Good stuff.
Hello, Troy.
What's up, Troy?
But no, you know that at Target they have a Monopoly. Monopoly did a partnership with Prism, and people are running to go get these basketball cards because it came with a booster. It came with a pack. And in the pack, you can get Victor Wembanyama. You can get like.
Here I'm sitting here, like totally oblivious to what Marcus is talking about. I do have the Monopoly cards with Prism. I bought a whole pack a couple weeks ago, and I just left it in my closet. I think I asked Cody on our Discord about it, and he's like, "They're good." I mean, he didn't have anything negative or positive to say. He said just leave it alone, and that's what I did. I just left in my closet. But Marcus, what were you saying? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's good. No, but I cracked them. I mean, because people were actually in the Target that I was in, people were clamoring for them and didn't know where to go, but they were actually in the game section, not the card section.
Yeah,
I see.
So next to the game, the board game is the cards.
Cool.
So Target is actually putting it up wrong. So I'm doopy-doopy-doo. They're going in talking about, hey, I'm looking for the Monopoly Prism. How come they're not in the card section? I'm doopy-doopy-doo. You know what I'm saying? So didn't say anything. Went in, grabbed as many as I could and whatever. But there's a kid in there. There's a little kid. He was like, hey, you play Pokemon? I said, I don't play Pokemon, but my son plays Pokemon.
Yeah.
He said, man, I have a folder of all Charizards. All the way back. My dad got me one in 1999.
Oh, that's so funny.
It held on to it, gave it to him. Right?
That's cool.
So it's probably not the first edition, but it's probably just the base set. But that's still like a $3,000 card, $4,000 card, I guess.
Yeah.
But just the sheer excitement of this kid running to the Pokemon section, that's the part that everybody is missing. It's just like right now, we feel like comics are dying because kids aren't running to the store to read comics. It's an old person's game now. Comics are all about the collectability I don't see kids. I remember being a kid growing up. People be like, yo, man, did you grab that latest copy of Green Lantern? Did you see what happened? Or did Lantern Corps? Or, when my son was doing it and I first got back into comics, Saga. These kids were reading Saga and talking about it. There were groups that were coming together just to read episodes of Saga. You know what I'm saying? It's not there right now. That's not there. But what is there? That Pokemon shit. I can do a garage sale right now out my house and announce that I got right. That's true, Troy. I could do a Pokemon. I could go on my Facebook in my neighborhood, because the neighborhood that I live in, we have our own Facebook. I'm sure some of the neighborhoods you guys live in got a Facebook community, particularly for the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I could literally type in there, I'm having a Pokemon sale. Come see me on Friday at 7:00. I will have a line of parents coming to get it. Of parents coming to get it for their kids. Of kids that jumped on Facebook and I saw it. I want to buy it. It's not going nowhere. Let's just be it's not going nowhere. And what you really should say is that, man, I'm mad that I don't have any first edition joints.
Yeah. One show I think it'd be cool, maybe not on this show, but maybe like on a Friday, like just to delve into like 2009 up, and Pokemon card investments. Because I think that the issue right now is, it's when I say modern, or I guess like recent sets, is like from like 2022 and to 2024. Like, what are the ones to like get and rip open or seal them? I don't know. But obviously the interest is there. One other card I wanted to mention here, which I thought was really cool. I was looking up just kind of auctions, and I found this EVGX from Thailand. Evidently, there's only 10 in the whole world. I just thought it was kind of a cool little thing about Pokemon events. So if you guys are ever able to go to a Pokemon event, there's a collectability in that world too. This was from a 2020 event that was canceled because of COVID, but somehow 10 got out. I thought that was just really cool. And it sold for like 1,500 raw, which I thought actually, like, Eevee's a pretty popular character. It has a reference to, like, I would say pop culture, but like, you know, real happenings. I mean, COVID, right? I wonder if like 10 years from now, people will look back at like COVID era collectibles and like put a premium on that, you know? But I just thought that was kind of cool. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys. Really good discussion. Comic books, I didn't have a lot today. I kind of like this new Incredible Hulk run. Troy, you said because nobody reads comics anymore. 100%, man. I think there's like also, and we talk about this in the Discord. We talk about this just amongst ourselves. You know, the books to read. I think that's kind of the hit, because like, you know, Marcus was saying, like his boy was reading Saga, and I mean, Saga's not like a big two, you know, publisher. It's published by Image. If there's good stuff, it will be found. You know what I mean? So I feel like this part of the segment, it's not so much like spec, but maybe it can be. I just read this latest issue of Incredible Hulk #9. I think it's a great run. This issue though, I feel like it's a good jumping point if you haven't jumped on. There's a Incredible Hulk has this really eerie, like creepy kind of vibe. It's like, it reminds me of like old school just like horror comics. There's a new character presented in this issue. It's really well done. The writer is just killing it on this run. But if you haven't jumped on the Incredible Hulk kind of bandwagon, I think you should pick up Incredible Hulk #9. It might have some spec value. The villain in this issue just creeped me the hell out. And then something I think is kind of a slept on spec from the past few years. Immortal Hulk #12, the first appearance of the One Below. So basically like the devil, essentially. I saw 9.8 go for like $65. I thought that was a pretty good kind of spec for future, just tying in like this whole kind of creepy, like Incredible Hulk series lately. But yeah, that's all I have for comic books. Fellas, are you guys?
Right,
what's that?
So moving right along.
Moving right along.
Well, I'm just saying, like, man, comics are just so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, man, I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer, because I know that we're here for all things collectibles. But man, them comics are just really, if it's not a key issue, if it's not really, you know, moving the needle, man, I think to One Up Comics point, man, everybody's reading manga. Like if you was talking about like a One Punch Man manga or One Piece, I think it would probably be a lot more, you know, engaging, simply because, you know, that's where everybody is right now.
Yeah.
These Hulks and stuff like that, I think everybody's kind of burnt out on superhero shit, just to be honest. But I'm saying it, but I'd be the first person to go. Like, I can't wait till Dune drops. I'm in the theater this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to talk about the Immortal Hulk, I don't know if you guys recall, this series is super hot. Jason Aaron was, I believe who was writing it? Was it Jason Aaron? I forget.
No, it was,
no, it was Ewing. Ewing was writing it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the artist was amazing on this. It was just like a superstar team, and it was a really good storyline. And Alex Ross was, of course, doing the covers on this as well. So it was like a triple threat of like amazing creator, amazing artist, and amazing cover artist, of course. And so they did bring, you know, the One Below all into this, and Patrick Ewing, and
who the hell is Patrick Ewing cousin?
Oh, he's saying Phil Ewing, or fuck, I forgot his name, but he's just messing with the Al Ewing. My bad.
Al Ewing, right?
Yeah.
Is he for real? One Up Comics, Patrick Ewing?
No, definitely not. He's messing.
But yeah, it was a great storyline, and Immortal Hulk first appearance, you know, blew up. Remember that?
Yeah, it did.
But I remember getting 2 copies of that book. It's somewhere in my bins, but like, you know, I think the Immortal Hulk, if they do make a Hulk movie, and that's pure speculation now, because I think there's a lot of legal tape between the production companies, like what's it called, Paramount, who owns Hulk or something like that, and Marvel, that Marvel can't make a movie because Paramount owns the rights and things like that. They can only bring him in as a shared star in the Marvel movies, just like Spider-Man and Sony. So with that being said, if they do get the rights, I think the next step would be to make a Hulk movie, because that IP is amazing. And I think they would probably head down the path of Immortal Hulk, because it is just a horror-based, creepy sort of, it's a universe-bending or genre-bending sort of story, because no one had done this sort of story before. So I think that I would spec on this if I can get in cheap, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, to kind of piggyback on Marcus's point, obviously the Sunday show, we talk all about comics and whatnot. But yeah, it was hard for me to be like, what should I put out here? And I want to obviously there's a lot of, the Ultimate Spider-Man's caught fire pretty quick lately. The new Avengers book, which I think is really quality writing. There's also some really good indie books. I put them in the Discord as well, I think last week, and I loved every single book I read this week. Miles is kind of, the new series is kind of okay. I actually reread the all new Ultimate Spider-Man book. I loved that series, man. I definitely kind of dove out and just read it. But yeah, it's the newer stuff's kind of few and far between, which hopefully it picks up. But 2024 started out pretty well for me, I think, as far as story is concerned. But yeah,
stuff, I'm so excited. I mean, with Spider-Man at least, and the Ultimate line, right?
Yeah, and it's cool that it started 2024 off, right? That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you read Six Fingers? I know Jizzy Gillespie's spoke about Six. I actually picked up the book Six Fingers.
Really good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It sets it up pretty well.
It's cool because it's such a different. That when I picked up that book, it was literally a cover that I just couldn't take my eyes off of, and it was a story that I haven't read like that in a long time, and it was weird because when I was reading it, I felt like I was watching a movie, just the way it was done, and the art was so good. Marcus, you got to pick it up, man. And then it's a two-part kind of deal. So there's this perspective so it kind of sets up like Seven, right? Because Morgan Freeman it's like his last case, essentially, right?
So you know what? I didn't read are these separate comics, One Hand and Six Figures?
Yeah, they're separate, but it's from the cop's perspective and then the murderer's perspective.
Oh shoot, I didn't pick up the One Hand. I gotta go pick that up.
Yeah, pick up the One Hand.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very neo-noir. I couldn't put it down, man. I read it like 3 times. It was so good. But it was essentially like the book that I picked up. Didn't really know much about it. The cover was amazing, and it's just kind of hit. And it was cool because it's not a big 2 comic book, right? And I don't even, and I'll say this, just kind of my approach to spec lately. To me, that spec's not dead. It's just I'm not looking for it. I'm looking for stuff to read, to enjoy the hobby again. Because honestly, man, it hasn't really necessarily been negative. It's just been kind of boring, really. But so I'm kind of going back to the basics and just trying to find stuff I like to read and trying to put it out there. And if it goes some value, cool. If it doesn't, at least someone can read something that I suggest is a good read. So, but yeah. Anyway, moving back to kind of some stuff. And again, I don't have a lot of stuff today. This is gonna be a pretty quick show, but I appreciate everyone coming through. I appreciate Dak coming through and Marcus and Marcus's pork. Whenever you say I'm a pork billionaire, I just imagine like pork bellies. And I'm gonna make some hella good Filipino food with them pork bellies.
That's it.
So when I come down to Texas, I'm gonna make you some adobo, be a pork belly.
there's a new term called pork belly scamming. Did you hear about that?
No. What is that? What is that?
So you know how you get those texts on your phones, "Hey baby, what's up?" And
oh yeah, I respond. Yeah.
you
Just kidding.
well, they managed to swindle millions off of very smart people by texting and luring them into a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It was what show was it on the other day? It was on John Oliver. If you guys watch it, watch John Oliver, and you'll hear about that.
Huh.
It's pretty bad the way people are scamming people now.
Yeah.
I mean, off tangent, but I just want to bring that up.
No, it's all good, man. I was talking about food, so I mean, like, you know, it is what it is. It's all good. That's why we're here. Marcus is going to be. He's got to talk to one of his pork belly homies, but he'll be back in a little bit. Dak, I don't know if you've been around when I talk about just this particular Pokemon Emerald version strategy guide, but I've talked about it several times, and I've just been. And the reason I always bring it up is it's not like Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue like the first ones, but I found that there's a very like strong following towards this Pokemon Emerald version game and strategy guide. This is what we're talking about, obviously, and not so great condition strategy guides for the Emerald version. They're pretty expensive. I've luckily found one for like $15 at a secondhand store, and it was okay conditioned, and I flipped it for $50. Obviously the Pokemon strategy guides are pretty. You're not going to find them in great condition, but I was looking at some sales lately, and I feel like the strategy guide market is starting to pick up a little bit, and you don't necessarily have to have a 9.4, a 9.6, a 9.2. I saw an Emerald version of a 7.5 sell for $222, which I thought was pretty great. This Chrono Trigger, and this isn't Pokemon's a little bit easier to spec on, right? Because it's Pokemon. Another one to look out for, and you don't necessarily need it in great condition, is Chrono Trigger. This 8.0 sold for $250 with I think 13 bids on it. So, I'll talk more about the strategy guide market because I found that you don't necessarily have to have a great condition strategy guide. You want to have it complete with like a maps or like passwords or whatever, but you can flip them for pretty good money, and not a lot of bookstores price them for very, very high. The one that I had a sticker on it, so I had to use some Gooby Gone to take it off. That was kind of a process. But yeah, man, I thought it was just kind of, Marcus, really, I think the beginning of our relationship, I say this every time I mention it, our friendship kind of started from strategy guides.
Yep.
So I want to really focus on that for me and Marcus's sake, But yeah, Dak, I just thought I mentioned this, but yeah, Marcus, man, have you been on the lookout for a strategy guide just on your local bookstore or whatever?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going for like the older the better. And if I can get them like brand new, never been opened, I grab them. Like, like I grab like Final Fantasy 16. I grab that one.
Nice.
Kingdom Hearts. And they're like heavy bound. They almost look like coffee books. Like coffee table books. Like it's insane the design of these strategy guides that's out here. And so hell yeah. I'm still all the way into it, locked in.
I love it, man. Yeah, I mean, you're my inspiration for kind of, and it all for me, it just started because it really just started because like I started playing Final Fantasy 7 again, and I wanted to get every single thing. So I was looking for a Final Fantasy 7 guide. Dude, those go for like $50, like ripped apart, because people want to use them, and it's really hard. And Dak, I don't know how much you do with like movies or whatnot, but the tough thing.
I'm a cinephile.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I saw that you have Oppenheimer there.
Yeah. So I thought it was a kind of an intriguing like play because it's a Best Buy exclusive. We've been talking about how Best Buy is getting rid of physical media. I've been reading though around that like people still like to collect their favorite movies, and I feel like this Best Buy kind of this Best Buy closing stores. It reminds me of how like toys with Toys R Us or KB on it have kind of a premium collectible. But I definitely got this one. It's in my collection right now. What
was the buy-in for the exclusive?
For the Steelbook? Yeah. I think it was like $34.99.
$34.99.
So it's a big chunk of money. That's the tough thing about these Steelbooks. But I went through just the last row of stuff at Best Buy, and they had like Miss Marvel and they had Mario. I almost got the Mario, but the fact that this is like quite possibly, I mean, this is like the Oscar movie, and the box office told you this was a top movie over like Miles Morales, and I think it beat Mario. Maybe it was like right next to it, but kids were talking about wanting to see this movie. I thought it wasn't a bad play, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I kind of have like a last Best Buy, kind of product.
Yeah. So I think over time, even if it's something that's not going to jump in value now, I think if it does get the Best Picture award for the Oscar for the Best Picture, you're looking at this a long term, right? You're looking at someone selling this in the next 10 to 20 years or something, where a collector will want the Steelbook sealed, even if it's not immediately like sought after as something they, in demand. But what you think about the movie?
I like the way they did it. I know there's a little bit of like,
I heard that sigh there.
Yeah, because I think there's fallback to say like, you're glorifying this like horrible thing that happened to tens and thousands of people. And I think the way they told the story wasn't so much about the bomb going off, but the decisions that were made to make the bomb or whether or not to make the bomb. And then kind of the politics of it all. I thought the movie was pretty long. It was like a 3-hour movie, right? It didn't feel like a 3-hour movie. It just felt like a long movie. But I felt like the visuals of the movie were really good. The acting was, I mean, like how many Academy Award winning actors were in that movie? But the way they told the subject of it, I think they did a really good job. But I know there's controversy about it because of, you're doing a movie about dropping an atomic bomb, but I didn't feel it was about dropping the bomb. I think the director did a good job of that. So I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. So from that perspective, right? So because they didn't even show it going off, so it wasn't like they were like, oh, look, all these people dying, or like, they basically just talked about making it and how they had to beat the Germans.
Right.
To do
so
it.
There was that scene where I forget now. Did they test it out?
Yep.
Was it them testing it out? Yes, it was them testing it out in one of the atolls or something like that, right? And then they had to go behind a wall and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Remember that part? That was like the big part of that movie, right? I mean, I have my own thoughts on that movie, but Marcus, did you see Oppenheimer?
I did not.
Okay.
Only because
New Mexico next, Jizzy.
Huh?
No, it was the test was in New Mexico, not in some atoll.
Yeah. I did not go watch it simply because I really didn't want to see anything about an atom bomb. It's like I heard that the acting is so freaking amazing.
It's really good. Yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr. I mean, they winning all the SAG awards right now, so I'm sure that come Oscar time, it's going to get handed out to all the right people. But no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies I didn't see last year because I hang out with you guys. I'd rather be doing that. So good stuff, guys, and really good stuff. We're almost done with the show. About 45 minutes in. I want to thank all 9 that are live today, and hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. We got some new faces, some new comments in this section, but yeah, you guys, as always, this is why we love doing it live. love seeing the comments in there and the people that I get to spend my every other Tuesday with. Some video game stuff. So my closet is getting full, man. I need to consolidate or move some stuff, I should say. I don't want to sell anything right now, but our good friend Trey is all about HellDivers 2 right now. And
yes, I've played it today.
How did you find it?
It is amazing.
It's pretty good. Is it better than anything you played, or is it just like good, or like what would you say?
No, it's good. It's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's good. I can see why Trey is saying it's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
So it's a third-person shooter. It's almost like on some Gears of War, but it's Gears of War meets Call of Duty. So it's very in it. But these monsters are like pulling up out of no freaking where, bro, and they get bigger and bigger supposedly. So it's like I'm early on in it right now, but they get bigger and bigger.
I've noticed a little bit about how the streamers are starting to stream it and their numbers are up.
Yeah.
So that's what Trey suggested, like, get the first print of this game, and I kind of jumped on it, and I was like, hold on, like do your research, or like kind of just see what makes a game go from cover price to $500 in however many years. So that's what kind of triggered me to jump on it, because I saw streamers streaming it and they always gravitate the newest thing, right? But I noticed that a lot of people were watching it for a very long time, and they were commenting on it and all that stuff. And Wade, everyone has their opinion. I kind of believe it. I don't really. I mean, I paid $40 for it, so it's like, am I gonna pay $40 for this, or Spider Boy #1? I don't know. I felt like I was banking on something a little new, a little different. A PS5 game for $40 is just always going to be a deal to me. So I'll see what happens. I will say this: what I noticed was people were stop playing PAL and started gravitating towards this.
Yes.
And I thought that was kind of a big thing. It might be a flash in the pan, but this is HellDivers 2. So there was a HellDivers 1 on PS3 or 4, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know the following on that so much, but I figured I'd take a snap at it. Again, guys, it's $39.99 on PS5. Keep it sealed. Play it, enjoy it, all that stuff. I mean, who knows?
Well, I bought one and I downloaded one for the system, so
cool.
I can play it and keep it.
Yeah, I like that play too, man. I kind of liked it too better that there's not like a special edition of this, or like whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Dak, I know you kind of in the Discord, like, I don't know that much about video games and stuff. Do you think you'll jump on any of these like online games to hang out with the fellas, or are you just like, nah, I'm good?
Yeah, no, I'm not a gamer. Never been. I have a PS3 that I've only played like 5 times. So I don't know. I'm not. I like the collectability aspect of it. And I know that it was mentioned that Borderlands is coming out, the movie. I do have a sealed copy of Borderlands, but I heard that the movie looks really bad. Kevin Hart and all these major stars are in it, but it's not really at least the trailer doesn't look good. The other thing is, I just heard there's a rumor mill that what's his name, Henry Cavill, wants to do a movie with Red Dead Redemption, movie, which would be awesome. As a collector, I bought like 5 copies of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's one of the most actually highest rated games of all time.
Yep.
It's top 3 maybe.
Yep.
And I bought the first print. I found them a bunch for first print with the stickers on them, the PlayStation only sticker. So got those, just put them away, and we'll see what happens. But I
love that.
Red Dead Redemption 1. I have number 2. The Red Dead.
I'm about to go get mine graded.
Sealed are expensive.
Yeah, I'm about to go get mine graded. I have.
Oh, you are? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carry on. Hold that thought. Let me see if I can find it.
He's gonna do a Vinny. No, yeah. I mean,
and
it's kind of a tough one, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. I did buy. We were going, really gangbusters on Cyberpunk.
What's up, dude? Yeah.
We all bought some Cyberpunk. I presume something Cyberpunk related.
You did. I think I went a little overboard, but yeah, I think
I bought the first print, the day one edition, so
Yeah.
I got that. It was cheap. It was like $25 or something, sealed. So I got that.
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
I'm gonna put you on single. I just want to see what it looks like.
That's the one. The sticker. See that PlayStation sticker on it?
Okay.
That's the first print.
Okay, cool. So good to know people in the chat, or if you're looking for Red Dead Redemption, which I think is a great play.
I remember showing this, and Vinny told me, "Man, this ain't shit." I said, "Okay."
Oh no, I told Vinny about this too.
Yeah,
I told Vinny about Red Dead Redemption. He just ignored me.
he probably just probably got like 7 on the side.
Stuff. He was buying some other stuff.
He's probably buying some other stuff.
He's buying like.
You don't need to worry about this.
I love that, man. I love that play. I remember you talking about that way back in the day, Marcus, and I actually, that's a game I actually want to play, like after I'm done with this next game I'm talking about in a little bit. But I love that play, man. And I was gonna touch on something. I don't like when it comes to video games. I wonder if that'll ever like kind of venture, or sorry, the whole like movie play, like especially the Badlands stuff, right? I think that the Badlands comic books they're going to falter. But I don't think that the movies are going to affect the value of the game. Does that make sense? Like, I think when the option news comes out, from what I've seen the market wise, like jumping from games or comics or whatever, the trailer hits, comic book does this, and then like the movie comes out and does this every time, right? I don't see that it really hits with the game. I think and that's why I think video games are a little bit more of a safer bet, with when it comes to like movies coming out and stuff, because more than likely down the road, this is what happens with video games. Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, there's either going to be a remake and they're going to put out on PS6, or there's going to be Red Dead Redemption 3 and they're going to compare that to Red Dead Redemption 2, whatever. So I think that's why I feel like it's a safer bet, and that's why I'm gravitating towards video games more when it comes to collecting and stuff.
It's a separate experience, right?
Exactly.
From movie to video game. Video game is like also an experience, right? It's like you're experiencing the game, you're experiencing the story, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's how you're right? So it's just that
today, it may change like in a couple years, right? But from what I've seen, I wish I could just like do like a graph or something, but I don't have time to do that type of data. But yeah, it's hard to track too. But sorry, go ahead, Dak.
No, it's just because of that separate entertainment experience. I think the video games usually don't take a dive after like a movie comes out. They still hold pretty much value because you can ignore the movie altogether. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can enjoy the game. And so that's what I think.
Yeah. And Wade agrees with him as well. People put tons of hours in their lives in video games versus comics. I mean, and I think that's, this nostalgia is one thing, but like I always felt, and I've probably said this before on other shows, but like I've always felt with like movies or like with video games, when I grade them, I kind of look at them as like a trophy. Like I conquered that video game, or I've seen that movie. I know that movie from beginning to end. I conquered that movie, or like this meant so much to me. And so that's kind of different. And in watching a movie, it's 2 hours. Comic books 2 minutes. Video game could be 2 days.
You base your life around the video game for a certain time, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And our big gamer friend, our personal friend of mine and friend of the show, Dragon's Den, HellDivers, let's go. Yes, sir. So, and then just an announcement. Wade's been all over this, but the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is out this week. I think it comes out either tomorrow or on Thursday. I think you can, if you pre-order it, you kind of have like a deal, or like you can preview it. But I'm actually trying to catch up and finish the previous game. They changed up the battle system in Final Fantasy VII, but I feel like the story's so rich, the way they redid the game, and I'm pretty biased. I love what they've done with the remake. It's not as pure as the previous, game or whatever, but I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited for this next game. It's not so much a collectibles report on it, but if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, I messed up. I should have bought the collector's edition with the Sephiroth statue when it came out to pre-order. That's selling for like 700 plus. I've been trying to keep an eye on it. It's just really hard to get. But did you ever? You didn't play Final Fantasy VII when you were a kid, did you, Dak?
I did not.
That's so the show I do with Pickles, right?
Okay.
That's how we became friends, just because of Final Fantasy VII. Mm-hmm. So, and I was just kind of curious. Like I always talk about in the Discord. I always talk about like in general, like. I love those collector's edition like sets. I just fucking love them, right? But they're expensive and they take up a lot of room.
Yeah.
However, there is some value in them. This Turtle Shredder's Revenge on the Switch, it's a little smaller. The Radical Edition, the buy-in was around $200 for this. It's $450 now. And those were raw, like unopened copies of it on eBay. But it's like the 5th most valuable special edition game according to IGN, and this was like an article from like a year ago, so it wasn't like pandemic times, but so something just if you see it like in a local shop, I don't know, but there's a market definitely for these Switch collector's editions. I didn't go into like a PlayStation collectible because I was just curious about the console market for Switch games, but I went down a different rabbit hole, and Turtles, man, they still do it pretty well. So
that's not a bad play, right? $250 for a Switch, like a special edition.
It's a little smaller too, right? So that's kind of why I went after it. I want to, and actually, I'm glad that Renee's in the chat. He posted this on his Discord. So this is kind of adding to the Steelbook edition, but Godzilla -1, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna definitely look out for this 4K Steelbook. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I think I'm gonna watch the movie first. But
is the movie good?
I haven't seen it yet. I missed the theater window, and I was actually supposed to go. I was supposed to go see it with Renee, but
I've never seen Godzilla like that violent. I mean, of course he's violent, but like because Godzilla went full out villain in this movie, and. There's a certain parts of that movie where you're like, how did they even make that with their budget? It's impossible. Like it's impossibly done. Like they had like I think an $18 to $20 million budget, and that movie does not look like an $18, $20 million film.
Damn.
And they did such a good job. You will see some melodrama. It's a Japanese film, so there's
Japanese. 100%.
Right. You're gonna see some melodrama, like overacting, but overall the movie's amazing. It's a great movie. They released a black and white in theaters for a while, but that's now also gone. But they do have an Oscar nomination for best. I think I forget what it was. Best special effects, or I forget. But they do have an Oscar nomination, so hopefully you get it. Yeah, but I highly suggest you go watch it. Somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Marcus is going to jump on this. Yeah. If I can pre-order it on Amazon, I looked on Amazon. You can't pre-order it yet, but the fact that it's a foreign film too, I feel that adds to a little bit of the collectability in it.
Yep.
It'd be cool to get it like the Japanese version. Not necessarily this one or necessarily like the American version, but whatever. And then our good friend Trey. I mean, Trey should be here, but it's all good. He sent this to me over the week, or sent this over to us, Marcus, over the weekend.
Sorry.
And Vinny kind of poo-pooed the $700,000 amount that he might get for it. But I mean, it's a really cool story. If you guys haven't heard, this dude he flips like games and stuff and on eBay, and he found this old Zelda game, and evidently it's the first print run, and it's sealed. It's the only known copy. I mean, this ultimately could be like I would be torn on selling it for $700K. I feel like I mean, this is like a museum piece, man. Like, I feel like I would grade it and just hold on to it, you know. But this is kind of I would say, like, arguably this could be considered the Hogness Wagner of video games, honestly, because it's a first print run of Zelda that's sealed, and there's no known other copies of this, and I doubt there's any copies of it. So I just thought it was a really cool article. Did you hear about this deck?
No, I didn't. The first time that you mentioned it, but 700,000. If I got $700,000 for a video game, I would sell it and buy a house.
Next. Cool. Yeah, I'm really curious of what Grady gets. Wait, I just thought it was a pretty cool story. So,
right.
Well, we're gonna round up with our this or that segment, old school OTR emblem in the background. Dak, you know how this works out, and I adjusted again for inflation. We're gonna start with $300. This was kind of a fun list this week. I wonder what you guys think. So, sealed Avatar PS3 or a Tim Duncan BGS 9 rookie card.
Oof. Is Marcus going to go first?
Well, I'm processing. I probably would go. I'm not really a sports person, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go Avatar. I was about to say I do sports. Tim Duncan, I get it. Rookie card. I'm going Avatar.
Now, I got to ask myself several questions before I commit. The first is, was Avatar a good game?
I don't know. I've never even seen the whole
I've
Avatar
never heard
movie.
anything good about the Avatar game before. So
it's a great question.
I don't know if that's something that'll be in demand over time. And once we get like Avatar 5 and 6, I don't know. I mean, I like Tim Duncan. I think he's one of the greatest players who ever played the sport. It's a Beckett 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would go with the rookie. I would go with the Tim Duncan rookie. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of a thing that I've been finding with video games. I've talked with Vinny before about his approach to video games. And what Comics Tortillas and Wade are alluding to, it's probably rare because no one played it. But that doesn't necessarily have any like, oh, this is such a great game. And so I feel like there's like, that's a niche collector, right? That's going to get Avatar the game because it's rare. But like the true collectors doesn't give a shit about the Avatar. And then I'm glad you guys kind of gave two perspectives of this. So like Tim Duncan is arguably one of the best centers of, he's like a top 50 player of the 90s into the 2000s, I would say, arguably, right?
But who's saying his name right now?
What's that?
I said, but who's saying his name right now? What rooms are you going in and be like, man, you know who used to be cold? Tim Duncan.
Exactly. And that's where the hobby with sports cards in general is like so skewed, right? Because like Wembanyama is gonna definitely, people are gonna gravitate Wembanyama. He hasn't even finished his rookie season yet. He could break his kneecap tomorrow and his career's over. But Tim Duncan is 4 or 5 rings, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's
most boring,
4 wings.
Most boring center of all time. Kind of a funny, but it's $300 for his and it's a pretty rare rookie. I just think it's that's where the collectability of stuff is just kind of like, it's tough.
What up? Got the right idea. I'd put that 300 in Ethereum.
That's awesome. I love it. That's smart. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a funny thing to whatever. All right. Next up is you got $500, 2020 lot of Patrick Mahomes newsstand. This is during COVID. Okay. And then 1986 Maradona 8.0 CGC magazine, the year he won.
So this is a tricky one. So if you got 500 and you got a 10 lot,
yeah,
I mean, eventually those are going to be worth, I don't know. So first of all, we got to know that a lot of people bought these magazines and kept them in mint condition at 2020, right? There's a lot of mint condition Patrick Mahomes Sports Illustrated out there. People bought them, kept them mint. Not so much for the 1986 Maradona World Cup, right?
And it's one.
Mm-hmm. But, over time, are you going to make more out of the Patrick Mahomes? Because you're going to have a lot of 10 of them. Mm-hmm. I would go with the Maradona just because it is rarer and it is a high grade. I mean, it's very rare.
Extremely high grade.
Yeah. You can't find a 9 of these Sports Illustrated anywhere.
Yeah.
Higher. So that's what I would go with. But I could be well wrong. This one's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm going with Mahomes because I don't know who the hell Maradona is.
and see, that's another thing too, right? Like I'm actually going to go with Mahomes on this one, and this is the reason why. It's not a first Maradona, and it's a Sports Illustrated. It's not like a Argentinian, or like a European magazine. And but it's, again, he's like the second greatest player of all time, arguably.
Again, right? Jizzy saying Maradona has proved himself. I'm sure he has. Mm-hmm. I don't know who the hell he is. Mm-hmm. I'm going Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Mahomes right now is hot as fish grease. He's back to back with the Super Bowl win titles. Shit hadn't been done in over 20 years. The hype, the fanfare of this kid just being out there, doing what he does. It's like the only other thing hotter than Mahomes is the year that CJ Stroud had, even though he didn't make it to the Super Bowl. But CJ Stroud is like white hot right now. He's a Houston Texan, which is where I live. So,
tough call.
You asking what I would do now, because realistically, I would take that 500 and put it in Ethereum too.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a different perspective, right? I'd probably do this. I'd probably do the collector's route. I'd probably grade all those 2020s, press them all nice, try and sell them, buy that Maradona, and then I'd put another 300 in Ethereum. So do it all.
That's a good call.
But that's just kind of like, whatever. This is the point of the exercise. So we're almost done, guys.
Fortnite.
This is for you, Marcus. I did this one for you.
Fortnite. Because I have this already. I have the Elephant Mario. Fortnite.
Yeah. I just thought you would think that's how much you can get for it. Because remember, we were talking about, do you grade it? Do you sell it? What do you do?
Oh, that's how much you can get for it? $1,500?
$1,500 for a Gem Mint PSA 10.
And I guarantee you that card is going to come back at Gem Mint 10.
Yeah, you might flip it, man, and get that Fortnite 8.5. I'm going with the Fortnite all day. What about you, Dak?
Fortnite. Yeah. I remember when this sealed game back in 2020, 2021 was like 4,000 or higher. It's come down quite a bit.
Yeah. And this is sealed.
This is sealed, yeah. This was a $4,000 or more game in 2021. And it's come down quite a bit. But again, let's not look at 2021. It's an anomaly, right? So $1,500. There's only 40,000 of these made, from what I understand, for the PS4, and 40,000 made. Plus, how many of them are really out there sealed?
I don't know.
People didn't buy these to just put them in their houses, right?
Yeah.
People bought them to play before they moved on to downloading the game, streaming the game, right?
Exactly.
So these are rare. Like the Fortnite sealed games are rare. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go with the Fortnite.
Love it. All right. Last but not least, in honor of Pokemon, Charizard German first full holofoil in a CGC 10.0 or Ty-Cobb 2.0 from 1909. Fellas, what are you going with?
Pokemon. No, it's German. No, Ty-Cobb.
That's kind of the reason I'm going Ty-Cobb too.
Yeah, I'm doing Ty-Cobb. I mean, you can't find that card anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like one that comes up for auction every 5-6 years, maybe.
Maybe, right? Yeah.
Maybe.
There was a couple Ty-Cobbs, but from different years. This one though was the earliest one I could find. There was one from 1911 that was a 3.0 that went for about $5,000. But I thought this presented well for a 2.0 regardless.
Yeah, it presents really well from the pick.
Yeah. And I like that SGC it looks clean with the SGC. I'm kind of leaning more towards SGC more than I did before, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool to look at. Old school. I mean, that's an antique, man, and that Charizard's like, and it's German. No hate to Germans out there, but I'd rather have it in English or Japanese. But great show, guys. Again, we try and do the show every 2 weeks with our busy schedules and whatnot, and I appreciate all you guys do for the show and the strength that you bring, and that damn good hair. And the voice was different. I admit I was kind of taken off a little bit.
Well, I was wondering. Wait a minute. Let me. As the show is closing.
There we go.
Might just take a picture.
That's ridiculous. I love it.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on the show today. The Pork Coin Billionaire is out. Get you some pork. Get you some cock. The COQ, because that's what it is. That's what it's called. Go look at seriously. The crypto is COQ, and it's a chicken, but they call it cock.
I love it. Okay, all right.
Pork, some pond, some cock. You can also get which is the one, the hypersonic Obama. I can't. That one is one.
Those are the other.
Yeah, Solana. Yeah, go get you some Solana right now. The play. If you just have $100 right now, go buy Solana. Go get you one Solana coin.
I looked at my wallet for
go buy a little something else. With Doge, take $100, go put it in Doge. Take $100, go put it in SHIB, and don't even look at it. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
The bull run is coming, guys, and if you either jump in now or get left behind. I'm telling y'all, let this pork do what everybody's saying it's gonna do. I'm disappearing. I'm talking about I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna be on the middle of the show. Bing, and I'm out.
Word from the wise Marcus, the one with the glasses.
He just disappears, just gone. All right, fellas. Have a great night. Thanks again, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.